Talking to myself and I muted myself. Spawned in, there's some deer running around, so we're gonna. Oh, and he saw us. See if we can't get leather so we can get our forges going. Go. Ugh. I want to run that way. There's a cop right there. He's gone. Alright. Okay. Gonna put our door there. That way we're facing the trader. So I normally do about 10 or 15 block houses. They're small enough that they're not extremely resource intensive to start, but they're also large enough that you can make them last for a little while. Out of wood already. You can go smaller and it gives you less area, obviously inside, but it's also less materials to fortify. You can always build higher up, so it just kind of depends on your preference. As far as forges, I'll pretty much always put them on my front wall by the door because the zombies go after the heat from the forges, so I find that easier to just set it on the main wall that's got a door. So they're not beating on the back side of my house all the time. Some more of those crafting. Oh, good. Assuming we can target with our hitbox today. For the moment. technically 3 blocks high is enough. Go for early game, because then you can just slap a roof on it. But it's a little tight. So you kind of have to decide if it's worth it to go up another level resource-wise. Since this is just a starter, I'm not too worried about that. And then normally, like one of these corners, I'll pull a couple of these out and actually build a stairwell up from this block. That way you can get up onto the upper floor. Makes it a little bit nicer for that. And since I'm generally running an archery build, I prefer not to do most of my combat from the ground floor, so I prefer to have access to an upper level. We used all our wood again, so. As soon as we get a roof on, we'll make some chests and we'll move all our stuff from over there over here. Gonna talk to the trader and get some quests turned in. Obviously, we're partway into day 3, so it's not like we're prepping for Horde or anything. Trying to get some core stuff up. Hey, how's it going? Can't complain. Streaming out some 7 days for the day, so all good on my end. This is obviously the boringest, tedious part of this is, you know, collecting resources. Is building roofs. Definitely not a fancy house, but for a starter house, it gets the job done. Alright. There we go. You have a house. Now that's going to be one of the downsides of doing a 2-block high is you really need to do 3 and then the roof because your torches are a little wonky. But, you know, when I get more resources and get stuff set up, I'll probably raise the floor by a level. But this is just to get stuff out of the weather for the moment. There. Otherwise, you can always move down a block. Oop. Solves that problem as well, but it looks a little funkier. Throw one on the back wall. At least get a little bit of light in there. So for chests early game, you can do these ones. Otherwise, you can do the storage boxes or the writables, but those all require nails. So until we get our forge, we're just going to run the base boxes. Always try to keep at least a torch on me, especially early game, because you're going to get for, you know, killing zombies in the dark. They did change them so you can mount them to the walls and stuff, which I think is... We're just going to go ahead and make a basic drop chest, and then we'll get it labeled later on when we get resources. Alright. Those down. Now we can go get our chests from across the road. And then it'll be back to running merchant quests so we can try and get our water filters. So we can get our dew collectors up. Move our bedroll inside. Relocate our cooking pot. Now the advantage to being right next to the traders, obviously it makes sale runs simpler. It also gives us a dead zone that we can work with. So, like I was saying, we'll put our campfire and our forges and stuff up on the front. I'll normally put my crafting stations and stuff like that in the back. My bedroll, relocate that. Just so if you happen to die, you don't have to, respawn in the front door where everything may or may not be. There for now. And we unlock grilled meat, so we definitely need to get that done. Nothing else we need to put down. Good there. As soon as we can get to it, the bacon and eggs is definitely the one we want to get going. But for now, we'll have some food. That'll take a while. Probably need more wood, but not for the moment. Make sure we got everything up. Yes. Oh yeah, and because we have a house up, we should get our land claim locked down. I have the land claim dead zone set to the biggest setting. So between that dead zone and this dead zone, it'll be a pretty good chunk where zombies aren't going to spawn in for everyday things. Obviously for horde and stuff, that's different. Grab a block. Gonna want those. Keep those. Those in the chest. Those in the... Aw. It won't let me place it because I'm too close. You can see how big it is. I'm too close to the trader. So now you gotta back off until you're out of his dead zone. And then the bars will turn green. Eventually. Oh, sorry. They turn white. Right. So that gives us a giant area where zombies aren't going to spawn as well. So that helps a ton. Now we gotta go fix that building block on the floor because kind of broke it. All right. That takes care of that. Obviously, before Horde Night, we'll go ahead and reinforce that, but for the moment, it's a house, it's somewhere to drop our stuff off. What quests he's got for it. Here, fetch.
If you want work from word of advice, next time, bathe before you come to a job interview.
Early game running the trader quests, I mean, it's definitely useful, but when you hit a certain tier, it'll also send you to other traders. Good use of time to go explore. Really need to be hunting, but I'm kind of hoping we just randomly walk into a deer stuck in town. Main thing we need is one of the quest rewards is going to be eventually we'll get a water filter, which we need for a dew collector so we can get a water source flowing, because they got rid of the glass containers quite a while ago. You know, more infinite crafting stacks and stacks and stacks of water, so that made the game a little bit more survival like. It's a little trickier to get early game food and water versus crafting out bacon and eggs at level 1. We do have a decent amount of cobblestone and stuff that we've already picked up, so that's kind of nice. We'll need that for upgrading the house. I mean, I don't have the settings set on crazy or anything, so first, 5 hordes aren't going to be anything to really fortify or worry about too much. But to be honest, by then we'll probably have an actual base set up. Like I've been saying, and I'll keep saying, the bows suck early game, but I like the agility build, so I suck it up for the first few levels. As soon as you start getting some points in archery, it's not too bad. Definitely has some fall off late game, but by that point everybody's running rifles and stuff, so you can always spec into one of your trees. Agility has the pistol tree. Otherwise, I'm also fortitude, so I can go brawler, even though brawler's more of a strength build. Big dudes take more arrows. There we go. It's also a good way to get semi-familiar with the town you're in, because they'll send you to a bunch of random places on these quests. Always want to check the magazine stands, because they pretty much always got books in them. Loot it first, that way when it'll reset when you start the quest. Not too worried about the rest of this stuff. That should have reset everything. Things to watch for. I see a doghouse. That's always a concern. Dogs suck early game. Thought he wasn't dead. Even comes with a beware of dog sign. Always helpful. Okay, that doesn't open. I mean, I do have med kits and stuff, but I prefer not to need them. Ah. Sweatshirt we're probably not gonna need. If this red marker's in here, if they're outside. That's why we like the archery. Alright. I don't even have my stealth perks running for my bonus damage. So that's just base game. We got an airdrop too. That's somebody up there? Oh, looks like it. We can hit them. Uh-huh. You can see that there's stuff tucked behind this. Always good things to check. Alright, we got a bunch of people. Oop. Found one. Definitely want to make sure you're recollecting your arrows when you can. That was it for the traders quest, so now it's just loot everything and go back to base. Medical books. Cooking book. Yes. That'll work. Early game, I don't really care what it is. You pretty much need everything. One of the patches they did, which I'm less enthused about, is they seem to have restricted the amount of Mega Crushes. And disappointing. My character has a slight caffeine obsession. Laser sight mod. Tier 2 pipe pistol. Crossbow bolts. Pretty good haul there. Probably a more effective way to get up here, but it works. Check and make sure we got everything up here. Like it. Fair arrow over there. Alright. Go back to base. A lot of these buildings were good. I just don't like it for base just because so the pathing is weird. But I have built them because I mean you've got some of these have these reinforced walls like on, 3/4 of them. Those are awesome for setting up bases because it takes a lot to beat those. Break our way out. Might as well go to grab our drop while we're out here. Things like this, some of the time, will have stuff hidden under them. Definitely want to recheck all of these. Some of the time you can get like charcoal and stuff out of the grills, which is amusing. As far as the books, you can tell like this one's a volume, but it's shut book. If it shows up as an open book, you've already read it. No points. Awesome. Got the first point in parkour. Grab the first point in hidden strike. Got the first point in archery. Gunslinger. Find more handgun parts and 9mm ammo. Useful. Find more bladed weapons. So, I mean, because I'm going archery primary, I already took that a while ago. Fortitude, you can do brawler. The fun part with this one is the line where it says punches to the head negate infection ability. That's really nice to have. So, Huntsman, well insulated, living off the land. Pain tolerance, so the one I don't have right now is going to be healing factor. Next up, we'll grab Iron Gut, so it uses less food and water. Pain tolerance is helpful if you're up close, because it reduces your hit point loss, which, if you're going Brawler, you're definitely going to need. So I already took the first tier and well insulated. When you can take the third tier, it's pretty much awesome. You never get hyper or hypothermia, so you basically don't care what the weather's doing. It's phenomenal. So a couple of things around on our inventory. Let's go check our drop box and then we'll run back to town. Moving stuff out of these spots for these ones is a little hard to tell with that background. You can see there's a different color gray. So these ones are a little bit clearer. These ones are a little bit more gray. So my inventory, technically, these are my over encumbered. If you have slots down here, it doesn't adjust for that. So you want to make sure that your bar is, organized appropriately. One of those little tricks that helps. Technically, we can do this on that. That frees up another slot. Little things like that. Now when I get up a couple levels, I get my college jacket and my running shoes. Start into my cardio and parkour perks. I run just fine over encumbered. Otherwise, if you're going strength, you can take Pack Mule. Pack Mule is slightly redundant just because late game you can get the the triple pocket mods and triple armor mods that increase your carrying capacity all the way around the board. And with that, you can pretty much take, I think, the first tier in Pack Mule and have full inventory unlocked. Once you get triple pocket mods, I don't think it matters. I'm pretty sure at that point you've got full inventory anyway. But if you're going for a strength build early on, it's nice to have the extra inventory slots so you don't burn all your agility just, running around over encumbered. Slow and tedious to get places. The only reason I'm not harvesting out the corn is because corn actually requires bottles of water, and right now waters are not self-sustaining for me. And I have grilled meat going at home, so that's fine. Ow. We're gonna pretend that didn't happen. And 7 days in general, it's still buggy. So, I've punched 4 arrows through right now that all should have hit, and they don't seem to. That's just... It's a whole lot better than it used to be, we'll put it that way. Their stack. If you've ever played this on the console, the console is still really buggy. So, it's like a 15-foot where they run sideways and then they teleport back. Then they run sideways and they teleport back. The hitboxes are jacked. It's a riot. But the old combination system's still in place, so you make a weapon and it starts, at level 1 through 600, but then you can throw them on a workbench and combine them up, which is kind of a fun system, but it was too easy to break. I did it with some of my buddies, and first day we were rocking 600 tier bows, which were the top of the tier because, well, there were 4 of us, so they all went out and started harvesting core resources, which was mostly wood, and I spent, I don't know, an hour throwing bows on the floor and just combining them and combining them and combining them up and up and up until we were capped out. It was quite fun for me. Ooh, I thought I saw a dog. There's a dog back there. Doggo. Ah, we don't have ammo. Well, that doesn't do us any good, does it? If I can get a hit on it, probably one-shot it, but my arrow drop is still really ridiculous, really. Incoming. Whoa! Wrong button. Helps if you don't hit the chat button. But we needed leather, so this... We need 3. It might work. There we go. Alright, I've got antibiotics at home. I've got painkillers at home. Ichi. Go get our drop. Make sure there's not a cop laying in front of the car here. If you break into those, not with the locks, but if you break your way in, it will set off a car alarm and trigger a zombie spawn, which I think is absolutely awesome. Funny. Your infection, if you hit 100%, you will die. The nice thing is the antibiotics and stuff do 10% at a time. cloth gear. I pretty much run cloth for this build because it doesn't have any of the mobility penalties that your heavy armor does. For a high mobility, high stamina regens, all of that, it's definitely nice. So I'll pretty much go exclusively padded, even though you can go into light armor like the military and stuff once you're high enough level. And with full modifications, your stamina regens aren't that bad, but more of a personal preference. I prefer just to have the no penalty armor and try not to get hit a bunch. Which in my multiplayer party, normally I've got at least one, if not two people that are up close and personal, so I tend to let them do that, and then I'll shoot them with arrows in the back of the head. But sprint it for a little while here. Get back to the trader before he closes down for the hopefully get our water filter, and we can go make our 2 collector and our forge. Got the leather now. As soon as I can get a forge running, I do, because then I want to get into the iron arrowheads. I can go up to iron arrows instead of the stone ones. I think honey, if memory serves, is up to infection 5.0, and then the antibiotics are 10. If you're over that, once you take one, you stop increasing the counter, but it'll only knock off to 10% per. So if you're at 90% for some bizarre reason, it's going to take 9 antibiotics, if not 10, to actually bring you back down to 0. Obviously, most of us try not to let it go that far. I imagine there's a hidden achievement for dying at 100% infection, but I haven't tested that theory to find out.
State congratulations. And the reward.
Armor plating mod, improved fittings, foregrip schematics. Go with amp. Okay. Does he have a stupid water filter? 2250. Go check our coinage and see what we got at home. I just have to buy a water filter. Hey, those are done. Don't need a stack of those yet. Go ahead and get rid of this infection. And we have painkillers. Go ahead and take those. Knock out the concussion. And we're good. Offload some random stuff here. Alright, 3 duct tape. So you can leave them too wide, otherwise you can spin them in. I tend to spin them in, even though it kills more of my floor space. But it's nice to not need so much this way, because then I can stack, 4 of them in here. Alright, so want to get that in, that in. You're gonna need anvil, just still locked. Iron and clay. Have some coal over here. That's got a better conversion rate. Oh, there we go. Go ahead and get that going. Yep, so now we can make iron arrows. Means I need a bunch more feathers and a bunch of other stuff, but we have some feathers. Honey, we got food and water. Hurt those. So for me, early game, I always try to keep food, water, jar of honey, and some bandages. Technically, when you break down the stumps, there's a possibility that you'll get the honey. It's not a guaranteed. Now that we made our forge, we're going to get those. That. Normally, I'll carry an antibiotic. Right now, that's less critical. Later games, I don't have to worry about the cast so much because I start dumping perks into agility, and then that negates. My parkour perks pretty much negate fall damage and breaking bones when you fall. So I don't have to worry about that too much later on. Early game, obviously, it's still a concern. Pipe pistol, not going to be worried about. We've got enough for our filter. We can do that tomorrow when he's open. Grab all of those. Checking to see what I got that can go into the forge. We can start making nails so we can upgrade these boxes to our actual labeled crafting boxes, which is awesome. Normally I use my back wall or something for that because take up space. Some waters. And then I will normally load my forges with stuff that needs to go into them when that's available. There's a lot of arrowheads. Now, as long as you're logged into the forge, you're making XP crafting out certain things. If you take the intellect perks for that, it's worth a lot more. But you actually have to be logged in to the forge to do it. That's time consuming, and I could care less, to be honest. So, writable storage boxes. I need 10 nails and a bunch of wood. Nine nails. Do probably 50 arrowheads just to start with, and then craft out a bunch of nails. on one. Here and arrows. Now we only have 20 feathers, but as we pick up more feathers, we can deal with that. As you can see, the same kind of thing applies here, because we're in inventory and crafting, we're making negligible amounts of XP. It's not enough to really be worried about, but it's good to know it's there. Now, normally I'm doing multiplayer. We've got a fairly specific box set that we tend to run with for organizational purposes, but obviously that's to each their own. So normally we end up with a crafting box. We end up with like clothes, armor, medical, food, water, crafted weapons versus weapons that need to be crafted armor versus components, or sorry, crafted ammo versus ammo components, that kind of stuff. Sometimes we'll do a building chest for designated building supplies. Keep this pretty simple for now. Definitely medical. And then early game, you can put ammo into one, and I do a combination of clothes and armor into another set. Just a little bit of, to break stuff down a little bit easier. Food and water, normally when I make this building a little taller so it's not so compressed, I'll put the food bin actually for like raw food underneath the campfire. Makes that a little bit simpler. Let's see. Beer doesn't technically count right now. Steroids can go in there. Glue is used for crafting and for medical, so we normally end up putting crafting supplies. Bones can go in there. I keep wood and rocks and stuff like that on me. So these can go in there. Springs can go in there. Cloth is kind of hit and miss whether I keep it on me or not. Bandages and that can go medical. These sandwiches are useful for something in the medical. I don't remember. I'm not normally the one crafting medical. I'm gonna set this up with plants for the moment. I got a lot of them. And then we'll normally do like a to sell chest, stuff like that. Right now it's still gonna be a little wonky because I just have stuff that I those going. We also do like a mods box. We'll normally set up a box for skill books on multiplayer, that kind of stuff. So if we've got books for somebody else, they go in a designated location. Makes that a little bit simpler. close. Spell chest we're not technically gonna need right now. Let's do food. Yep. Thanks. Now we can take all this stuff out and dump it into the food chest because it's all planting and food related. You'll kind of get a feel for what you want to do on your own. Kind of a basic concept that we've used that's worked out well for us. Mechanical, your springs and mechanical parts, stuff like that normally here. Cloth fragment. Obviously, this is the purpose of that. So you're like, hey, I need to make something. What do I need? I need stuff. It's all in my crafting chests. We normally double up on those just because later in the game there's so much stuff. And then normally we do a tools box and a couple of other things. Now I can start actually like sorting these out a little bit better. Food, one there. Drinks down here. There. Some games we will put chests for like stuff to be smelted into the forges. Obviously on this one that's less critical for me because I'm not mass harvesting. We dropped our honey. Now, honey is one of those things that technically you can drink it or eat it, so you could put it into food. There it is. Thought I saw. Goldenrod tea we're going to take because we're low on water. Got seeds, but no actual there. Alright. Good enough. This is, I'm sure, been done. Down here is your food bar. On the right's your water bar. And they are now duration instead of bulk. So when you drink water or whatever, it takes a little while and it'll slowly replenish your bar. Almost done. Put that down. Obviously the coal that we found, we're good for 1,200. So we're good on that for a while. Next primary thing is while we've got downtime, we can start fortifying the house. That'll take a lot of wood. Don't have much. So you'll go from your base wood block up to this, and then it's cobblestones. We should actually have back more light back here. That's much better. Where did I put them? I'll get them out of the chest. Probably still in the other chest. Ah, there we are. Anyways, you'll go to cobblestone, and then you'll go up to cement and or concrete, whatever you want to call that, and then after that you'll hit steel. Now this, you can't just upgrade to an iron door, you actually make the iron door. Here requires forged iron, which we have some of. Going kits. I also try and keep a stack of those on me because you never know. They're useful for some of the abrasions and other things. About like it. Ammo, we're gonna throw all the ammo in here. We're also gonna throw the guns for the moment because we don't have enough to make another weapons chest. A lot of food stuff, mechanical stuff. Engine, technically the batteries, the headlights, all that can kind of go into mechanical. Put all our plants here. Nitrates, gunpowders, that kind of stuff is going to be ammo related. At this stage, I'll put the rifle parts and stuff in there as well. Why we normally run a mods check. Some more heals. Gonna make a mods chest and tools chest. Turn that off. Alright. That'll help. These can all go in there. Those back in there. That for the moment. All mechanical related. Here's tools. Oh, we've got forged steel. We don't even have forged iron. Okay. Not critical, we just can't make it yet. That can go in there too. Parts, the batteries, over the tools. So normally I'll combine, like the weapons chest will have the stuff, all the weapon parts to make the weapons, and then already crafted weapons. Tools chest will basically be the same thing, where you've got stuff to craft tools and then already crafted tools. For the first while, they're not going to be breaching the floor. So normally I fortify my wall that's got my forges on it first. Cobblestone rocks should be a combination of rock and clay. So that's fairly easy to get to. But these are 1500 hit point blocks. That takes a while. Especially if you've got, I don't know if I have the zombies turned way down or not for their damage to blocks, but still, it takes a while. You do want to reinforce the floor, but that's less critical than the walls. Most of them are going to be doing wall damage, not floor damage. And the trader opens at 6 something, so we got a little bit of still. obviously this is a great XP gain. This used to be before they balanced or rebalanced the skill system. The person who was mining got all the XP, and then the person who was building got the second highest XP, and then whoever was doing the looting and collecting and running got screwed. If you have a claw hammer, this is only a 2-hit instead of 3-hit upgrade, but I don't have one yet. And we're out of wood. Yep, go beat down some trees. In here. Oh, yeah, cobblestone rocks is clay and rocks. Ooh, hello. Not what I was looking for, but, you know. Never pass up free food. Ooh, we got a skill point out of that. So, since we have the first point in there, we're going to grab our first point in Iron Gut. That reduces our food and water. From there, I'll probably grab the first point in Brawler, and then start dumping points into Agility. Up front, it's 1 point for the first like 4 or 5 levels, and then it goes to 2 points, and I think the last 3 are 3 points per level. So, that kind of sucks. I also need to grab this one. That increases my probability of finding light armor parts, and also allows me to start increasing my crafting skill, plus taking the penalties. So that'll be one of the next two as well. And from there, it's just dump points into agility. I prefer to cap out the tree first and then take the sub perks, because it feels like once you get into the game and you actually start get rolling, once you hit the higher levels, it takes a lot longer to reach a level. So it feels like if you're saving for 3 points, it takes forever. Now, if you jack up your XP gain, obviously you can mitigate that, but the problem is then, because of the game's difficulty scales off of kind of what your gear is, combination of how much good gear you have plus your character level. So if you, say, triple the XP gain, you'll gain levels very quickly, you'll have lots of skill points, but you still won't have the supplies and the resources and stuff that you need to survive difficulty level games can throw at you. Now you can do it the other way and drop your XP gain down to 25%. It takes absolutely forever to level, but by the time you hit like level 12, you've been in the game for like 2-3 weeks and you've got more resources than you know what to do with. I've experimented with both. Honestly, I just leave it alone. I leave my XP gain at 100 and I don't worry about it. Alright, it's time to head back. The trader will be open here in a second. We'll buy a water filter off of him. can also grab another quest from him. Because
How about I empty your pockets?
buried supplies, I really don't want to do. I'd rather do a fetch quest. 'Cause digging with no stamina really sucks.
It's been an honor to work with you, but it
Ew.
would be a lie.
We need one of these. Alright. Ranger's Guide to Archery, we don't have coins for. Obviously, all of these are useful, but whether it's worth burning the coins on,
A sale is
kind
a
of
sale,
questionable.
even if it's to a scumbag like you.
Alright, dew collector, we need polymers, duct tape, short iron pipe. We have most of that. Obviously, our building doesn't look finished. Polymer, 64 of 100. Short iron pipe, 16 of 100. We used all our duct tape, that's okay, we can make more. No, we just need a bunch more plastic. Okay. Easy enough to do. Craft out a couple more grilled meat. Ooh, we got bacon and eggs now. Do we have any eggs? We do have eggs. Bacon and eggs is way better than the grilled, so we're gonna hold the rest of our meat and just go collect more eggs. And like every sane person, we're just gonna throw it in a box on the wall. It'll be fine, right? Hang out until these are done, then we'll go run another quest. Yep. Those. I'm gonna keep those for now. I'm gonna go ahead and offload the cobblestone because we don't need it right now. And we're good to go back for a little while. Chickens and wandering zombie horde. Alright. Go make some XP. Now, I don't have the brawler perks, but this is still a very viable. Whoa. This is normally me. This is me during hordes. I just run around and I kite. Alright. Nice little XP boost for the morning. And I lost most of those arrows, but that's okay. Cop's still there. Really like to get him out of here. Mostly because they suck in this game. Seriously? Yeah, that's what I thought. Because that acid spit hurts. Detonation hurts. So when they get pissed off at you, they charge and blow up. Not pleasant when you don't know they're coming. Shoot, for that matter, it's not necessarily pleasant when you know they're coming. I've got one lockpick. No way I'm gonna get through this. Like always, the game will get it to the last like 2 seconds and then it'll break like 12 picks in a row. That's astounding. Okay. Nice. Yuck juice, pipe bomb, 762. Can't complain for any of that. Alright. Something else to be aware of, anytime you see military encampments, generally these are fine, but there are actually military outposts and the entire exterior is surrounded with landmines. Better to know about it before you run in there than go charging in and discover it after the fact. Need a couple more feathers and we'll be good on there. We haven't even made it to our checkpoint and we're already encumbered because that's how it goes. You'll spend your first, like, I don't know, 2.5 weeks probably being encumbered constantly until you start getting stuff going, getting the system. If you're running with more people, it's a little easier because you guys can, split out. Unless you guys are all pack mules and every single person's maxed out, then you're just stuck. These stumps, break them down when you get a chance because some of the time they drop honey. It's like a 1 to 3. I think it's somewhere right around 1 and 3. We're off to a grocery store. I hear a snake. There you are. Snakes kind of suck because they're pain in the butt to hit with a bow. Chicken. I don't see anything that looks super critical of clear other than this. Possibly outside of the... Nope. I always say this game makes me feel a little like playing Fallout. I don't know what's going on, but we're gonna loot the toilets and we're gonna loot the, well, everything. Alright. We didn't check far enough. Now, if you start taking the hidden shadow perks, which I will take eventually, make sure your allies and the people you're partnered with will actually let you go first into objectives like this so you can clear them stealth. Because I've got a couple in my party that are, just say not stealth. I always start clearing because once you get a couple of the sneak damage perks, I mean, you can one-shot pretty much everybody while they're sleeping, which makes it way simpler to do this and then come back for all the loot. Is normally what I try to do. Oh, hello. Anything good in the fridge? No. Kinda not surprised. 9mm pistol. Not bad. Like most games, the slower you move, quieter you are. A little dark in here. This the loot's out back. Also looks like a good place to find dogs. Alright. Fucking Messiah crate. Probably just have shotgun ammo, but you never know. Rated blade mods. Alright. Can't see what's in there. Doesn't look like there's anything in there. Oh, we loot all the stuff that we may or may not need. I'm just gonna go ahead and head out. I am colossally over encumbered. Head back to the trader. Ugh. I'll deal with that later. Way too over encumbered to do that run right now. Gonna run back to trader, offload some inventory, and then take a pause on this for a while, get some stuff done today, and then probably jump back on it tonight unless my buddy's available, and then we're jumping back to Halo because we're doing some Halo playthroughs. Yeah, the Master Chief Collection, we're finally sitting around and getting to it, so we knocked out Reach last night, we're starting CE probably tonight. But we're probably going to do the drop before we go, because 7 days sometimes if you've got an airdrop on the ground is a little buggy. When you load in, you'll miss the marker, and the marker will have disappeared, and then like 3-4 days later, it'll randomly show up that you've got a couple of them. So one of the useful tips is to make sure you get your drop while it's marked.
Hey, jackass, can I lighten that? Now that you did the job, I guess you ain't all bad after all.
Structural brace mod reduces wear and tear by 25% for melee weapons and tools. This does work on your brass knuckles and stuff. So I'm gonna probably go that way. Alright, do we have anything we need to sell? Doesn't really look like it. Only got 2 plastic on that run, so we definitely... We are gonna pair that and out with the brace mod. And... freeze up a couple of slots. Let's go drop some stuff off the house, make a run for the drop, and then we'll go ahead and get off of here. Gardener from 4 over here. Sometimes you can shoot through the fence, sometimes you can't. But because it's a trader, they can't break into it. Let's see. Sure. More bacon and eggs. We didn't set up a weapons chest, so weapons go into the ammo crate for now. We'll sort it out later. Medical. That. One of those. Robotics parts. Now we'll throw it mechanical. Right place. That in there with food. Coins back on the self chest. These guys. Gonna be a little bit of a run out there, but that's how it goes. I feel like we were just here. Weird. We're at the point in the game where we need more eggs. Lots and lots of eggs for a while, so any birds nests you see, you're gonna want to loot them. That way we can make our bacon. Now, most of these maps do have a boar ranch, which, I mean, it's great for food, but I highly recommend doing that with stealth perks, because those boars hurt. And then the main boar ranch, underneath the farm somewhere, there's a boss boar named Grace, who is a damage soak, but, you know, she's worth a lot when you kill her. Alright, we got addicts, food, nice, books, yes. Good. Ooh, don't mind if I do. Rose tier 4. Helps my bow suck, not quite so bad. Ooh, berry plant. You know, until you start taking the farming perks, not necessarily worth it. If you get the living off the land perks, it increases your yield, it increases crops. It's definitely helpful, but until you get the first couple of tiers, it's really tricky to get going on farming, and farm plots are expensive early game, so do what you can to live, on animals that you can find. If you have somebody going perception, they can grab animal tracker. I'll normally grab the first tier just to have it, but then when you stealth, animal tracker, crouch down, it'll mark rabbits, snakes, and chickens. Tier 2, you get deer, boars, coyotes, and wolves, and then the last one, you get mountain lions and bears. So you can crouch down and actually get a marker to where nearby animals are, which is super helpful. So living off the land, farm plots are 30% less, plus you double the harvest. 50% chance to harvest an additional crop, farm plots reduction at 50%, and then you get to triple the harvest on wild or planted crops. So that's super helpful. Our first health perk. That'll work for now. So, I mean, that's definitely an option if you're going to go the farming forager route. They require a lot of resources to make the plots. So, like I say, that's kind of, it's nitrates and rotting flesh and stuff, which you get frequently, but to do it in farm plots is expensive. Eat our blueberry pie. Some decent food in. It's getting feathers. Eggs. They say they have them, but they don't. These guys are another great source for rotting flesh and nitrates. Oh, moves that way. Wow. There we go. So now I got a 4 times sneak damage. The 3.5 or 2.5, whatever it is, base. From here, I'll pretty much start. I'll put 1 point into that infiltrator. Just to have it for chickens and stuff. I'd like to get more, but it's not worth it early game. That requires level 4 in perception. So it's one of those, I like that kit, but it's not. I wish they would have moved that. I understand why it's in perception, but it would have made more sense to put it into the survival perks. Huntsman, where you get more stuff from harvesting animals, living off the land, that kind of thing. So I've got my primary purse. I might grab a point and brawler because I'll use it periodically. There are times where being ranged doesn't pay off, so I'll probably grab that next, and then after that, I'll start dumping points into ability. The ones I want up quickly is going to be light armor and parkour, mostly because, well, you can jump 2 meters higher, increase fall distance by 5 meters, and never get a sprained or broken leg while falling, which is awesome. Even the first tier, it increases safe fall and stamina cost. Level 2, you can jump 1 meter higher. You can basically jump on top of the building. I think it's 3 blocks high, so jump from here to the roof. It's kind of fun to go running through town, hopping buildings. Some more stuff to drop over here. So, I mean, that's just fun, and with my agility build that I run, that works out great for me. So, that's one of my primaries that I'll be prepping towards. That needs to go for now. Alright, well, I'm going to take a break for a while. I got to do some stuff, so it's been fun. Hopefully you're not too bored watching. If you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to shoot me a message or leave a comment or anything, but I will be back on later on, so I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.